Hey everybody, I'm Andrew from the Bugout channel, and today I just really quickly wanted to go through my top 5 survival items. Now, the reason I'm going to go through my top 5, and I'm sure you've seen some other people's top 5 survival and top 5 EDC, mine are a little bit unique, compared to some of the other channels that you may have seen. So I just wanted to cover them real quick. The first is this Cold Steel Trailhawk Tomahawk head. Now, when you buy this, it comes with the head and the handle, and obviously this one's a little modified, and I built a Kydex sheath for it. But this is actually one of my all-time favorite survival items. And let me explain why real quick. The first reason is, first of all, you always hear, people talk about batoning, with a knife and stuff like that. But the way I see it is, why would you baton with a knife if you could bring this little tiny tomahawk head that has a little hammer on the end, and you can easily use it to chop wood and baton wood, and you don't have to worry about dulling your knife. It weighs very, very little. I don't know the exact weight on it, but it's incredibly light. And what you do is you just don't bring the handle with you. You put this in your backpack, like you've seen in some of my previous Bugout bags, which I'll stick a link here in the video. And, you just keep this in your bag, and when you need to use a tomahawk, you can either use this to build your own handle, which I've done several times with this one, or what you can do is you just use this to split wood, and you can even just get a stick and hit this through the wood if you need to baton wood with it. So it's incredibly versatile. You also got it as a handle. It could be used as a defensive tool. You can also throw this, if it has a handle on it. So this is my if I had to pick one thing, or top 5, this is definitely in my top 5. I freaking love this thing, and it's a high carbon steel, which is awesome and easy to sharpen. Now, if you do decide this is too small for you, you could always go with the larger version, which is the Rifleman's Hawk, which I also really like, but this one does have some weight to it. So keep that in mind when you're, if you decide to buy one of these. I would ultimately, I almost always go with the Trailhawk for a Bugout bag. But, if you don't want to put this in a bag, this is a good way to go, because you can actually, this is heavier, you can cut more wood with it. Let's see, the next thing, a folding knife. Now, the reason I have a folding knife in my top 5 really is because I almost always have a folding knife on me. So I always try to keep a folding knife on me that it can be used for survival. And the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 is my top pick, and this isn't new news to you guys, for those of you who do look at survival channels on YouTube. The Paramilitary 2's, it's a very, very popular folding survival knife. Really quickly, it's made of S30V steel. It's got this really neat locking system that's on the top of the blade. I'm not 100% familiar with what it's called, but it's really nice. It opens and closes really smoothly. The G10's really got a decent medium type grip to it, which is cool. Big lanyard hole, big Spidey hole, whatever it's called. But this thing, why do I like it? Because of the blade steel and the blade shape. This thing, I've never had an issue. And now, just like every other knife in the world, it does eventually get dull. But this S30V steel is really awesome. There's a downside to this knife though, and that is budget price. So this thing usually goes for about $100. So if you're looking for a budget type knife, this absolutely isn't the way to go. And I would probably go ahead and shoot for something like this, which is, this is a Rat 1. Usually they go for about $25. And this is AUS 8 steel, but it's a very good knife. This is probably one of my favorite budget EDC knives. So just something to keep in mind. So those are my top 2. Moving right along, we'll go into Multitool. Now, you guys have seen my videos. You know that the Leatherman Wave is probably my most favorite multi-tool. Mainly because it's good for EDC. It has access to the blades on the outside. It does have a blade. It has a serrated blade. It has a decent saw. Not the longest saw in the world, but it does have a nice saw on it. If I could open it up here. There you go. And it's got a lot of functions on the inside. It has bits that can go inside of it. So this is overall, this is my favorite multi-tool. And this is what I would recommend if you can afford it. These are normally about $80 to $90. This is the way to go. So for multi-tools, this is it. Now, if you don't want to spend the money, there is an alternative, and this is my second favorite multi-tool. This is the Victorinox Hiker Swiss Army knife. And these normally run for about $20 to $25. And this is what I would believe to be the second best multi-tool if you don't want to go hardcore on the Wave. Basically, this this has the things that you would need for survival to include 2 cutting tools. It does have a decently long saw that you could use. And, you know, I have a video on this as well, so check it out. I'll try to put a link to it below. So as far as multi-tools, these are my top 2. And that's item number 3 in my top 5 survival. Next, on to flashlights. Now, you know, for those of you who've been in the woods without light, it sucks. And so my number 4 pick is the Streamlight Micro Stream flashlight. And this was a tough one for me. And I'm just going to bring in the competitor here. And there's a third, but I actually lost it. So what you have in front of you is a Micro Stream. This is a Phoenix E01. And then the third would be a Through Night TI3, which I have a video on that as well. But those 3 are my top picks. I ultimately went with the Streamlight because it does produce, I think, around 27 or 28 lumens. And I did a test on it last night, and it went for roughly 2 hours and 50 minutes, which is longer than what they say it'll go for. You know, what I've done is I've tried to pick what I believe to be the best lumens for the longest amount of light you can get out of it. So this is definitely a top pick. The TI3 is also up there because it does go all the way up to 120 lumens, but it also has like 0.5 lumens that goes for 114 hours. This is normally about $18 to $20. The E01 is also a top 3 competitor for flashlights because this one, I believe, goes for roughly, it's 13 lumens and it goes for roughly 14 to 20 hours. I think I've gotten about 13 or 14 hours out of this one. So if you're looking for something that's not quite as bright as the Micro Stream, is about $8 less. This normally runs for $10 to $11, and this thing goes for 14 hours. This is the way to go. In fact, this is what I keep on my keychain at all times because I like a flashlight that you don't have to worry about it running out. So these 2 basically stay on me at all times. If I need something brighter than this, then I go to the Micro Stream. But a flashlight, one of these 3, is definitely in my top 5 survival items. So look at these 2. It's the Micro Stream and the Phoenix E01. Definitely a good choice. For budget, just look at the E01. It's about $10. It's a great keychain flashlight. And the 5th item is a fixed blade cutting tool. This is my neck knife. It is a Esee Izula 2. I can't talk today. And this is a little bit smaller fixed blade knife, but I like it because it's smaller. It's got very nice high carbon steel. It's a perfect neck knife, and I like neck knives and smaller knives, especially the Izula, because you know it's not big and bulky, but you can keep it on you pretty much at all times. So even it would even serve in an EDC. You know, it'd have a good EDC functionality to it. You could actually, I have a little thing that you could put this and you could just carry it across your belt, and you could basically have this knife on you at all times for EDC. And you know, I like to have things that have multiple purposes, so if you have something that's good for survival and good for EDC, why not just use it for both? This is one of my favorite fixed blade survival knives. And it's not huge, but if you check out other videos on YouTube, you'll see this thing does a really good job for cutting. You can baton with it, although why would you need to since you have a tomahawk in your bag? But this is a little pricey, so let me talk about a couple things real quick here. The next is, if you are someone who wants a larger fixed blade survival knife, and I do like larger fixed blades as well. If you've seen my bug out bag video, you know that I actually carried this and this in my bag. This is the Esee Laser Strike, and I'll tell you what, if you want a larger fixed blade, this is the way to go. It's not quite as thick as a BK2, but it's definitely thicker than most other survival blades. You can baton with this. It's also good for doing all your wood tasks that you might need to do. You know, you can almost, it's heavy enough to where you could almost chop with it as well. So if you're looking for something bigger than the Izula, you might as well just go ahead and look at the Laser Strike. So there you go. That's fixed blade. Now, if you're looking for a budget option, because these are, I don't even know the exact price, but probably anywhere from $100 to $120. If you're looking for a budget, go ahead and go with a Mora. I believe this one was about $13. I got this on eBay. You know, for the price, it's $13. These things come razor sharp right out of the package. Sliced, you know, it's got a Scandi grind on it, which is great for woodworking. And you could probably buy 2 or 3 and put them in your different kits. This one's never been used because it's going to be for a giveaway later on. But I just wanted to show you, if you're looking for something budget, you know, in your budget, just go ahead and shoot for this thing. It's for $13, you really can't beat it. And I do have these in my kits as well. And there's a little bit more expensive bushcraft version if you're looking for something in mid-priced fixed blade knife. But these are great knives, so just something to think about. And let's see. So there's something I haven't quite covered yet, and that is combustion. For those of you who know, I try to use the the C's of survival. And although I didn't mention it here, something that you should always have in your survival is some form of combustion. For me, inside of my, and you guys might have seen this, this is my Leatherman Wave survival kit. I just keep a Bic lighter right in there, just like that. But why not? You know, for a few bucks, you can keep a Bic lighter on you at all times, and you'll always have fire. Now, for those of you who like the fire steels, you know, you could always shoot for, this is a Light My fire steel. These are fairly inexpensive, but this is a quality fire steel that you know is it's gonna produce really hot sparks, and it's gonna help you start a fire. So these are two good options. There's also the Friendly Swede, which I don't have one to show you right now, but it's definitely something to look into. So really what I just covered is my top 6 survival items. I'd love to hear what you guys think about what your top choices would be for survival items. If I missed something, you know, that you would have in your kit, I'd love to know about it. Personally, you know, this is just what I've been thinking about for the last, for quite a while now. This is my top choice. Obviously, I have 2 forms of cutting, well, 3 if you count the tomahawk, combustion tool, some form of light. When you're thinking about light, think about things that it's going to produce a decent amount of light, but also is going to have the length of battery to it. So just some things to keep in mind. There was one last thing I wanted to talk about before there's a company that I've recently been introduced to, and that's Tough Grid. Now, you know, obviously, you look at my Bugout bags, and those of you who are into survival or looking to learn about survival, having some form of paracord or 550 cord is very important. It's very important to keep in your kits. And I just wanted to highlight this company real quick. It's a very, very good company, and I don't normally plug a specific company, but I just felt the need that I really wanted to talk about Tough Grid real quick. First of all, Tough Grid, they get their paracord through a military contracting company that produces military strength paracord. Tough Grid is 750-pound test paracord. All this paracord is made in the United States, and this paracord absolutely rocks. I'll tell you what, they have a ton of colors. It's 750 tests, which is, you know, for those of you who know, normal paracord is 550, so this is 200 pounds more. As far as thickness goes, it's almost the same size, so you normally wouldn't even notice the difference. I just wanted to mention this. So if you're on Amazon, and I'm gonna put a link to this stuff below, and if you're looking for paracord for your Bugout bag or for some form of survival gear or kit, I would recommend Tough Grid. As far as price goes, it's almost the exact same price as normal paracord, but you're getting 200 pounds more American-made paracord. So absolutely look into these. From now on, since I've got this Tough Grid and I've tested it out, not this specific, obviously, this is brand new, but I do keep the black paracord inside my Bugout bag for those of you who've seen it. All of my kits, all I'm going to roll with now is Tough Grid because I absolutely believe in this stuff and it's amazing. So I really just wanted to highlight them real quick. I'll put a link below if you're looking for some paracord. The prices are phenomenal on Amazon. It's comparable. The 750 test is pretty comparable in price to the 550 from other companies, and this is American made. So just something to think about. I'm not sure how long they've been around, but I just recently came into or heard about them. So just something to look into. Take a look at these guys. Their stuff's awesome. And that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you watching. Let me know below what you think would be if there's something I'm missing or something I've said that you disagree with or something that you think I should add into my top choices for survival, let me know below. And there's one thing I wanted to mention, and that's subscribing. So, you know, a lot of you guys, you know, you just pop in, watch a video, and then jump out. And, you know, a lot of you guys thumbs up the videos, and I appreciate that. A lot of you guys comment on the videos, and I also appreciate that. One thing I'd really like to ask of you, especially some of the not subscribers, some of the people who have watched several of my videos now, if you like my videos, please be sure to subscribe. I try to do at least 2 videos a month, which is a lot less than most of the bigger channels. But what I've noticed is I'm actually starting to become a little bit of a larger channel, and I really appreciate that. So if you like my channel, please subscribe. What it does is it helps me. It shows people that it shows other people that I do have a lot of subscribers. It shows me how many people like my videos, and it also lets you know when I have new videos coming out. So if you subscribe, it's going to tell you on your YouTube that I have a new video available, and you'll be able to see it obviously first without having to search for it. So, like always, I'm Andrew from the Bugout channel, and thanks for watching. Bye.